Hi guys, and welcome back to the Essence of May. So guys, the first thing I'd like you to do for this video is I'd like you to go ahead before even watching this video to give this video a thumbs up, guys, because this discussion, guys, is gonna be a real good one. So just go ahead, give this video a thumbs up, share. So guys, as you can see in the title, I will be giving my thoughts, i.e. my 2 cents on the video that has been circulating on social media for a couple days now. The video I'm referring to is the one where it's the little boy's birthday and his guardians, I would assume, or people around him were giving him liquor to drink, cigarettes, exposing him to expletives, you name it. Now guys, bear in mind that even though that story will be the center of my discussion, it will not be limited to that, as this is a broader issue. So I will be using this particular video as an example, but my whole discussion will be on a broader level where, looking at the situation on a more wider scale and coming from a different angle. So guys, let's get into the video. Most of the points raised in this video are evidence-based, so feel free to message me if you would like any sources, etc., you name it. Enjoy the video, guys. So guys, upon watching that video, so I saw it on Facebook circulating, and it was just how the video was dealt. It was just how they captured the moment that stood out for me. It was like a horror movie in a sense, and it brought great sadness into the whole picture, because it brought both sadness, not only for the child, predominantly for the child, but also the adults that were condoning and promoting this whole behavior. As you know, that child relies on that individual. Children rely on us to protect them, to serve them, because we have to feed them, stuff like that, to protect them, to nurture them, and to give them the best experience that we can ever give them in life. So when you see something that, as a parent with cognitive functions, with well-thinking, well-rounded ideas and thoughts about life and how things should be conducted, you're going to, of course, look at it on that whole level, where it's going to really break your heart to see such a behavior being displayed. Now, if you're not aware, now, a lot of people may not know this, a lot of people do know this, depending on where you're brought up. But in the inner city, I have to talk about that because that is where I was brought up. This sort of behavior is normal. When I say normal, it happens quite frequently. So it's not something that is just trumped up. It's not something that just comes up. As you'd always hear, remember in the George Floyd, where people talk about racism and stuff like that. It's not that it's just happening, it's just that it's being filmed. So with social media and stuff like that, you're seeing these things more frequently, but it's not something that doesn't really happen in the inner city. And again, guys, I have to always say this, because you always have someone in the comment section saying, oh, you're acting like everybody's like this. No. Remember, guys, and I love to say this, it's annoying to say, but I have to say it. Remember, I'm speaking in general, I'm not generalizing. So if it doesn't fit you, do not wear it. Do not wear it. If you're not a size 6, if you're a size 6, don't go into a size 5. So, guys, remember that. This is not a generalization, and this is not speaking in a condescending manner. This is really just having a discussion. And I will be referring to them as we. I'll put myself in it, because I always believe, guys, that it takes a village. Just to speak, in general. So we. And guys, if you notice, on my channel, I've always spoken about this. Yeah, so So for me, I felt sadness not only for the child but for the adults, and I'll explain why. And in my explanation, guys, you will note that this is something that I've always been saying. I'm a second year psychology student, and there's a lot of things that I've learned doing psychology, plus my experience has taught me a lot. And experience is the greatest teacher. You can go to any university and get any degree, and it still doesn't give you still won't grasp what it's like to be in a situation or to experience something unless you are actually living it. So I'm gonna explain why I did not only felt sorry for the child, of course, greater for the child, but I also felt sadness for the adults. Now, this is something that we cannot choose. Yeah, there's something called parental instinct. It's not something that you choose, it's something that's innate, right? And yes, there are parents who neglect their children, they do certain things, but within them, running through their veins, there will always be an attachment. Webster's dictionary, parental instinct is a mother's natural gravitational pull towards her child. Now, I'm going to extend that to a father, because people are of the misconception that only mothers feel. No, once there's a contribution, towards a child where, of course, conception, the father will have that natural pull. Let's be that connection. Maybe not consciously, but it's there. This is just the order. So parental instinct is that natural gravitational pull towards the needs of your child and stuff like that. Now, if we talk about natural gravitational pull, we have to also look at the fight or flight response. And a lot of people know that the fight or the flight and the flight response is where it's something that it's innate. We cannot control it. It's like if someone comes to shoot you, you're gonna naturally try to live. Yeah, it's called a fight or a flight response. It's like if you feel fire, your mind is gonna naturally direct you, tell you to get out of the fire. You're gonna try to escape that. So these things are natural, and it's associated with that old parenting, which means it's natural to want to protect your child. It's natural. It's just instinct. For example, like myself. I'll give you an example. When I was growing up, I always used to say, mommy loves my little sister more, or she loves my bigger sister more. That's something that I believe based on her action. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Now, when I grew older and I started to have children of my own, I realized that it's not that mommy loved one of her children more. It's that mommy it's a different relationship with each child. And it depends on the child. Where you have that closeness. You would say it's favoritism, but I put it down to it's that relationship you have with the child. It does not necessarily mean that mommy would choose one of us. It's natural. It's a natural instinct for her to not choose any of her children. Bear in mind, I know there are people who neglect their children, but that's a different story I'm going to get into, because I'm going to talk about the old parenting and why a parent would allow their child to do something that would be toxic to their health and toxic to their brain, and would basically lead them down a path that it's not going to be beneficial to them. So I'm just speaking about the healthy response, where it's natural to protect your child. It's natural to love your child, because it's just innate. It's not something that you can control. It's the genetics, it's the blood that runs through that child's body, from both the father and the mother and the father. So like I said, my mom had her favorites. I would say favoritism, but she didn't love any of us different. It's just like she had a different bond with each of us. Now, when I had each of us, and this is something I've learned having children, because having two daughters is great, And it taught me a lot about this whole thing that I used to battle with when I was growing up. When I was growing up and thinking my mom didn't love, thinking my mom's love was, my mom's love was different ratios. You understand? Now, the next thing I noticed was I used to always think that everybody would defend themselves. If someone comes to hurt them, they would naturally protect themselves over their children. So that's what I thought, that yes, parents say they would die for their children, but they wouldn't. That's what I used to think, that that's not something that would naturally happen if a gunman should come, until I had children. And what I learned is when I had Amara and Alea, and I sat myself down and I thought about this thoroughly. I thought about, if a gunman came to kill me or my mom, would I jump in the bullet? I couldn't give a yes or a no answer. It was harder for me to think yes or a no. And if we're being real honest, instinctively, I'm thinking I might chicken out and run and protect myself. I mean, I don't want no one to hurt my mom, but I'm just talking about the fight or flight response, guys. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm assessing that and I'm thinking, maybe I would chicken out and run behind a cover. Now, when I thought about my children, Alea and Amara, I thought, if a gunman came to shoot them, what would I do? And I didn't have to think anymore. Guys, it just came to me. The sadness that came over me, and it's just like my heart started to beat fast. It was just natural that I could never allow that. I would jump. It was just natural that I would jump in the front of the bullet. It was just natural. I knew I would do that. I didn't have to think about that. I mean, with my mom, I had to think about what I would do. With my children, I would just jump in front of the bullet. Because when you tell me that if a gunman should shoot them, inside of me moved, which is that connection between our children. And someone asked again, going back now to the favoritism that I thought my mom loved one of us more than the other, which I've learned that that's not the truth. I thought about if Amara was dangling off a cliff and Alea was dangling off a cliff and I had both their hands and I had to let one of them go, which one would I let go? And guys, again, there was no doubt. This is why I know you don't love one child more than the other. It's just, you just have a different bond. And basically, I could not let any of them go. So that is just a natural reaction. Now, going on to this situation and the problem that is in our communities. Guys, we have a big issue that doesn't get addressed a lot in Jamaica. Not only Jamaica, in America, in the UK, specifically in the black community, because this is a black problem, guys. It's a real black problem. A real black problem. We are having an issue that is tabooed. People don't really take it as serious. People think it's just, because they're not used to it, so they think it's just a taboo. It's not something that's really happening. Whenever I speak about this, people have the misconception that I'm taking blame from the individual. The same when I talk about the Terminator Boy video, and I spoke about how a lot of times, we have this expectation of certain people when they don't have the capability. And I'm going to touch on that a bit more, guys. And this is scientifically proven, guys. So whatever I'm saying to you is scientifically proven. And I know I talk about nature versus nurture. Guys, I'm going to link that video in the description box. Check it out. There's a lot of videos on my channel, very good videos, in-depth videos, guys. They don't get as much views, and I understand that because people don't really go for certain topics. But guys, these are topics, good in-depth videos. And there's also another video when I talk about father absence being one of the main reasons for crime in Jamaica. So those are two of the videos that will explain what it is that I'm going to just briefly brush over, because I've gone into depth about that before. But I'm just going to briefly brush over this so you get an idea of why I'm coming from this angle in regards to that video. And like I said, it's a taboo. And this thing doesn't get addressed or discussed enough in the Black community, especially in Jamaica. And what I'm talking about, guys, is mental illness, right? Now, when people speak about mental illness, people just think it's people that walk on the street and eat out a rubbish bin and stuff like that. No. Guys, there's a lot of mentally ill individuals walking around, and we're expecting things from them that they're not able to provide. They're not able to provide unless they have gone through serious mentorship and counseling. Guys, let me tell you something. Do you know that when I was living in Jamaica, right? And of course, I lived in a volatile area. What used to happen, guys, was gunshot used to fire. And when gunshot used to, I used to hear gunshot a lot. What used to happen is I jump off my bed. Everybody knows that. That's just the way we do it. You jump off your bed, you jump on the floor to protect yourself because a shot can't fire through anything. And what happened, guys, over the years, and this was something from when I was a child growing up, over the years, and the next thing again, when someone used to get killed, as children, used to run and go look on dead bodies, because it is, which is something that I think we should have been protected from, but, at the end of the day, it just is what it is. So, I constantly had to jump off my bed onto the floor. Do you know what happened over time, guys? Whenever I heard a pow, whatever it is, by pow, or whatever, any gunshot I heard, it just became automatic in my brain. My brain was so worked up, guys, that even in my sleep, I was jumping off a bed. So I was unconsciously sleeping, and my brain heard gunshots, and in my sleep, I jumped off the bed. Do you think that's something normal? That cannot be normal, guys. That is something we call trauma. Because the fear of gunshots, my body, my brain recorded that fear. And what you'd find is I developed something I would call PTSD. And a lot of people have that and don't even know. Right? Let me tell you something. I don't believe in just diagnosing yourself. I believe you go to a professional. But this is something that I realized whilst in the military. Because, guys, you see, in England, I don't really hear gunshots. I've never heard gunshots in England. It fires, but in certain communities. But I can tell you what I hear a lot. I hear a lot of, so Asian community, when they're getting married, they do a lot of fireworks. And let me tell you something. It doesn't happen to me now because I've been to counseling. But let me tell you something. Guys. I used to hear fireworks and jump off of my bed in England. My brain is used to that pie sound, that gunshot sound. Fireworks sounds like shots. And I literally jump off my bed because it became that natural reaction. So what's my point? What am I getting at? I'm talking about a lot of these parents, right? A lot of these people that are becoming parents in Jamaica, which is mostly young people, they have been through certain things that a normal person should have been through. They are not mentally okay. They are not mentally at the place where they can nurture a child in a healthy way. There's a lot of mentally ill individuals walking around, and you can't tell them they're crazy, but their decision making. I know people who are like that. You will knock them. It's like, you carry the cow to the well, you can't force him to drink. What are you saying? You bring a man to the well, you can't force him to drink. I think it was a cow, or I don't remember who they say you bring to the well, you can't force to drink. You have some people that it is so drummed in them. It is so conditioned. And we talk about the conditioned response. This is psychological, guys. And I think this is what we need to start understanding, that these are real things. Mental processing is real. Mental conditioning is real. So what you're having is, and I spoke about this, yeah? I spoke about the humanization of our people, and I spoke about how we're having a generational pass down. So generational ignorance to generational ignorance. What you find is a youth's mother and father, whether the father is there or not, telling him he's nothing, treating him like a hog, treating him like he's below zero, beating the child, beating the child, degrading the child, exposing the child to all manner of things, whether it be all manner of things, drugs, because smoking is drugs, guys. Drugs, guns, you name it. This is what the child is seeing around them. And what you find is that child is adaptive. It's just adaptive. And they adapt. And then they come and have children. And they pass down the same things. Yeah? Toxicity, guys. It's the toxic cycle. And what you find is, if not broken, it gets repeated. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's just me. It's all on me. I decided that I'm going to break the cycle in my family. I decided that I'm going to be different. It's what I was going around. I, the Lord, and I know God sent these people. God sent a church to my yard to minister to me. And when I was around these people and I started to go to that church, it's like most of the people that I would say middle class. And everybody was driving. Everybody had a good job. I wasn't hearing the swearing. Guys, environment plays a lot in a child's life. And I can tell you, because I did a video on this as well, and this is scientifically proven. You see a pig, you can condition a pig to eat the mud. Because you can take that pig out the mud, and the pig will always go back. But you see, the more you take the pig out the mud, and you continually, because this is not going to be just a one day talking. And you continually take the pig out the mud, eventually you will condition this pig to learn, to adapt, to being clean. It's the same thing. A lot of these little youths can be saved. When they get old, it's harder to break the tree. I said that already. It's hard to break the tree when it's old. We're talking about youths now. This is why I constantly speak about schools having a role and having a great power that they need to utilize more. And when I speak about school, I'm not saying that it's the school to blame. What I'm saying is, if you're going to look at the fact that the parents are failing the child, or the community is failing the child, or whomever is failing the child, and you don't see it as your responsibility because they're failing the child, then you're failing too. Because what I'm saying is, and I've said this before in England, if you're not doing your job as a mother, if you are abusing your child, physically, emotionally, you name it, then your neighbor is going to call the police. Because we're a village, guys. We have to be our brother's keeper. We have to be a village. So you can't watch that the mother not do her job, or watch that the father not do his job. If you have that ability, if the child comes to school and you see the child being neglected, and you see the child portraying certain behavior, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to intervene. Because remember, guys, everything will spill over in our society. So this is why I do not put it down only to parents. Because a lot of these parents, them sick. Them need help themselves. They were never meant to be having children. They're mental. This is why, because think about it, guys. Only someone that's mental would give their child something that would harm them. Because remember, I spoke about earlier, it is a natural instinct to protect your child. It is natural to want the best for your child. But we have to understand that people that does this, people that dress their children like thugs, people that dress their little girls like, in such a way to imitate a certain behavior, people that encourages swear words and laugh about it as it's funny. Oh, cuss the bad word. When the child cuss the swear word, then we're laughing. And the child bust another one and we laugh. Or people that put cigarette in their child's mouth and find that funny, find that as a gimmick. Watch him, man, yeah, real thugs. And it's cool and hip, and we do that to our children. You can't write it. They can't be right. They can't mentally right, because in their head, what they're doing is acceptable. In their head, what they're doing is okay. They do not. For them, that is their normal. And that is what I've been trying to drum in. That is what I've been trying to bring home. There's a lot of mental health issues happening, guys. And people don't even know that they need counseling. Do you know how many girls that have been abused, that have been raped? Do you know how many girls that have been raped, that have been forced to have children, and they raise their children? And they try to do the best that they can, but they pass on some of that damage to that child. Do you know how many girls? And they've never been counseled. They have never been spoken to and directed in a path to bring them to a self-realization and to heal, because you need to work through things so you can be healthier for yourself and for your children. You know how many little boys have been raped? You know how many little boys have been solicited? Do you know how many little boys have been given guns from a younger age, traumatized? You know how many little boys have been shown how to kill? Traumatized, and that's how you see them. That's how you see they grow up and they don't care. They'll kill anybody. They'll kill the baby upon the breast. They'll go into the church and kill people. Them smoke gunpowder. Them sniff gunpowder. Them lost. Only God can help them. They're lost because all they know is trauma. What do you think? Do you think you can pour dirty, as the Bible would speak about? You cannot pour clean water into a dirty vessel and expect the water to be clean. The same way, we cannot expect a certain reaction, a certain behavior from people that are not even mentally right. And to them, they're fine because they're clean and that is how we have to look at it and understand that this isn't no sane action. This is not people that are sane. These are people that are mentally or up the sun, mentally off. Because no sane person would do that to their child. And it is happening so frequently. So frequently. And there's a lot of mental issues taking place with a lot of us in Jamaica. And most people don't even know that. And we're walking around like everything is okay. This is why sometimes even when the man left the woman, she take it out upon the child. She's traumatized because she's been hurt, she's been bruised, she's been lied to, she's been neglected. She don't feel no word. So how can you who don't have feel word for yourself pass on word to your children? You can't give something that you don't have, guys. I'm telling you. Believe me, you will see the manifestation of this. Trust me when I tell you that. It's a reality. It's mental. Most of them don't have substance. Most people don't even have much in them and they take it out on the child. Constantly because of the frustration. Because they have not worked through these pain and these hurts. These trauma. And they just pass on and we just destroy the generation. It's mental, guys. And it's a sad situation. It's mental, guys. But this is why I believe that it's going to take a village. That is why I believe that we can't just leave it up to just the parents. Children needs to be looked out for more. Homes need to be assessed more for suitability. And it is lacking right now, guys. It's lacking. Parents can do whatever they want in Jamaica. Kids get abused, kids get neglected. And then we wonder why the future ends up this way. You know, I even hear Sir P talk about something, post-traumatic stress. A lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people don't even know that that existed, where a woman can have children and they go through that post-traumatic stress, and people think it's tabooed. But these are reality, guys, and then they cuss the pitney, them the want the pitney, them beat the pitney. Guys, it happens, and then we wonder, we think, oh, what a wicked mama. That is what I'm talking about. And I don't know if you guys have watched that video. Yes, Sir P touched on that. And it's a vital point. There you go, guys. So that's really it, guys. Those are my thoughts, you know, on the whole situation. Like I said, I used that video as the main point, but I went broader with it because I didn't just want to touch on that. Everybody's seen the video. I wanted to go deeper into the issues that we're facing. But guys, that's really it, guys. You know, sad. But as always, guys, I do thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Do remember, guys, to give it a thumbs up and share it. Share the heavens out of it, guys. And you do have yourself a wonderful day. Until next time, guys. Godspeed. Big up.